Hello and welcome to Richard August, the autistic Christian MGTOW, the red pill man who lights it up blue. This is Yea, the Bible saith this. Today's Bible readings will be from 2 Samuel chapters 16 through 18, as always from my 1560 edition of the Geneva Bible, as I always read. We begin in prayer. Lord, open thou our hearts to hear, and by thy word to us draw near. Let us thy word still pure retain. Let us thy children and your heirs remain, in Jesus' name. Amen. 2 Samuel chapter 16. When David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba the servant of Mephibosheth met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 cakes of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of dried figs, and a bottle of wine. And ye king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, They be asses for the king's household to ride on, and bread and dried figs for the young men to eat, and wine that the faint may drink in the wilderness. And the king said, But where is thy master's son? Then Ziba answered the king, Behold, he remaineth in Jerusalem, for he said, This day shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertained unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I beseech thee, let me find grace in thy sight, O my lord, O my king. And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, named Shimei, the son of Gera, and he came out and cursed. And he cast stones at David, and at all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the men of war were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come forth, thou murderer and wicked man. The Lord hath brought upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned, and the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son, and behold, thou art taken in thy wickedness, because thou art a murderer. Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah unto the king, Why doth this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go, I pray thee, and take away his head. But the king said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? For he curseth, even because the Lord hath bidden him curse David, who dare then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came out of mine own bowels, seeketh my life. Then how much more now may this son of Yemini suffer him to curse? For the Lord hath bidden him. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and do me good for his cursing this day. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went by the side of the mountain over against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones against him, and cast dust. Then came ye king and all the people that were with him weary, and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people and the men of Israel came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king! God save the king! Then Absalom said to Hushai, Is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? Hushai then answered unto Absalom, Nay, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his will I be, and with him will I dwell. And moreover, unto whom shall I do service? Not to his son? As I served before thy father, so will I before thee. Then spake Absalom to Ahithophel, Give counsel what we shall do. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Go in to thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house. And when all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father, the hands of all that are with thee shall be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was like as one had asked counsel at the oracle of God, So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. 2 Samuel chapter 17. Moreover, Ahithophel said to Absalom, Let me choose now 12,000 men, and I will up and follow after David this night, and I will come upon him, for he is weary and weak-handed. So will I fear him, and all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only. And I will bring again all the people unto thee, and when all shall return, the man whom thou seekest being slain, all the people shall be in peace. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, Call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. So when Hushai came to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken thus. Shall we do after his saying, or no? Tell thou. Hushai then answered unto Absalom, The counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time. For, said Hushai, Thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be strong men, and are chaste in mind as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. Also thy father is a valiant warrior, and we will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in some cave or in some place, and though some of them be overthrown at the first, yet the people shall hear and say, The people that follow Absalom be overthrown. Then he also that is valiant, whose hair is at the heart is as the heart of a lion, shall shrink and faint, for all Israel knoweth that thy father is valiant, and they which be with him stout men. Therefore my counsel is, that all Israel be gathered unto thee, from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand of the sea in number, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where we shall find him, and we will upon him as the dew falleth on the ground, and of all the men that are with him we will not leave him one. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all the men of Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the river, until there be not one small stone found there. Then Absalom and all the men of Israel said, The counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Lord hath determined to destroy the good counsel of Ahithophel, that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, Of this and that matter did Ahithophel and the elders of Israel counsel Absalom, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly, and show David, saying, Tarry not this night in the fields of the wilderness, but rather get thee over, lest the king be devoured, and all the people that are with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz abode by En-rogel, for they might not be sent to come into the city. And a maid went and told them, and they went and showed King David. Nevertheless a young man saw them, and told it to Absalom. Therefore they both departed quickly, and came to a man's house in Bahurim, who had a well in his court, into the which they went down. And the wife took and spread a covering over the well's mouth, and spread ground corn thereon, that the thing should not be known. And when Absalom's servants came in to the wife into the house, they said, Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman answered them, They be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought them, and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And as soon as they were departed, the other came out of the well, and went and told King David, and said unto him, Up, and get you quickly over the water, for such counsel hath Ahithophel given against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they went over Jordan until the dawning of the day, so that there lacked not one of them that was not come over Jordan. Now when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose, and he went home into his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself, and died, and was buried in his father's grave. Then David said to Mahanaim And Absalom passed over Jordan, he and also the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host in the stead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son named Ithra, an Israelite, that went into Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister to Zeruiah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And when David was come to Mahanaim, Shobi the son of Nahash out of the Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and Machir the son of Amiel out of Lodabat, and Barzillai the Gileadite out of Rogel, brought beds and basins, and earthen vessels, and wheat and barley, and flour, and parched corn, and beans, and lentils, and parched corns. And they brought honey, and butter, and sheep, and cheese of kine for David and for the people that were with him to eat, for they said, the people is hungry, and weary, and thirsty in the wilderness. 2 Samuel chapter 18. Then David numbered the people that were with him, and set over them captains of thousands and captains of hundreds. And David sent forth the third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and the third part under the hand of Abishai, Joab's brother, the son of Zeruiah, and the other third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will go with you myself also. But the people answered, Thou shalt not go for thee. Thou shalt not go forth. For if we flee away, they will not regard us, neither will they pass for us, though half of us were slain. But thou art now worth 10,000 of us. Therefore now it is better that thou succor us out of the city. Then the king said unto them, What seemeth you best, that I will do? So ye kings stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Entreat the young man Absalom gently for my sake. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field to meet Israel, and the battle was in ye wood of Ephraim, where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David. So there was a great slaughter that day, even of 20,000. For the battle was scattered over all the country, and the wood devoured much more people that day than did the sword. Now Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule came under a great thick oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth, and the mule that was under him went away. And one that saw it told Joab, saying, Behold, I saw Absalom hanged in an oak. Then Joab said unto the man that told him, And hast thou indeed seen? Why then didst thou not there smite him to the ground? And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a girdle. Then the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet would I not lay mine hand upon the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Beware lest any touch the young man Absalom. If I had done it, it had been the danger of my life. For nothing can be hid from the king. Yea, you thyself wouldst have been against me. Then said Joab, I will not thus tarry with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand, and thrust them through Absalom, while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak. And 10 servants that bare Joab's armor compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him. Then Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, for Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom and cast him into a great pit in the wood, and laid a mighty great heap of stones upon him. And all Israel fled every one to his tent. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared him up a pillar, which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called ye pillar after his own name, and it is called unto this day Absalom's place. Then said Ahimaaz the son of Zadok, I pray thee let me run and bear the king the tidings that the Lord hath delivered him out of the hand of his enemies. And Joab said unto him, Thou shalt not be ye messenger today, but thou shalt bear tidings another time, but today thou shalt bear none, for the king's son is dead. Then said Joab to Cushi, Go, tell the king what thou hast seen. And Cushi bowed himself unto Joab and ran. Then said Ahimaaz the son of Zadok again to Joab, What, I pray thee, if I also run after Cushi? And Joab said, Wherefore now wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou hast no tidings to bring? Yet what if I run? Then he said unto him, Run. So Ahimaaz ran by the way of the plain, and overwent Cushi. Now David sat between ye two gates, and the watchman went to the top of the gate upon the wall, and lifted up his eyes, and saw, and behold, a man came running alone. And the watchman cried, and told the king. And the king said, If he be alone, he bringeth tidings. And he came apace, and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running, and the watchman called unto the porter, and said, Behold, another man runneth alone. And the king said, He also bringeth tidings. And the watchman said, Methinketh the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz the son of Zadok. Then the king said, He is a good man, and cometh with good tidings. And Ahimaaz called, and said unto the king, Peace be with thee. And he fell down to the earth upon his face before ye king, and said, Blessed be the Lord thy God, who hath shut up the men that lift up their hands against my lord the king. And the king said, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered, When Joab sent the king's servant, and me thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what. And the king said unto him, Turn aside and stand here. So he turned aside and stood still. And behold, Cushi came, and Cushi said, Tidings, my lord the king, for the Lord hath delivered thee this day out of the hand of all that rose against thee. Then the king said unto Cushi, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushi answered, The enemies of my lord ye king, and all that rise against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. And the king was moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went thus, he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom. Would God that I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. Thank you for watching and listening. May God add his richest blessing to this reading of his holy word. This has been Yea, the Bible Saith This. This is Richard August, the autistic Christian MGTOW, the red pill man who lights it up blue. Calling you back tomorrow for further readings from the Psalms.